Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Aaron with AOP Tech, and today we're going to be talking about the Google Admin Console, specifically when it comes to talking about our Chromebook devices. So I know last time we talked about the user settings, and today we're going to be talking about some of the device settings. So let's strap in, let's get ready for some learning. Here we are at the Google Console home screen, and before we begin I just want to point out that this video and the settings that we're going to be talking about are really designed for a cart-based Chromebook rollout where students would not be using the same device every day, where one student might use a device and another student might come and use that device later in the day. If your school is using a one-to-one rollout where the students are keeping their devices, some of these settings you may want to adjust for that specific group. So let's get into it. So we're going to start by clicking on the device management icon. And then we're going to click on the Chrome management icon. And from here, we're going to click on the user's settings. Now, a couple things to note as this page loads. We want to make sure we are on the appropriate organizational chart within our domain. So right now I'm at the top level organization chart. So the changes I make here will impact every other organizational subunit. If I only want to make these changes for students, I can select either the entire student category or I can select by grade level year. Alright, so we're going to scroll on down and we're going to start at the general page. So now the general page, the first one I want to talk about is the wallpaper setting. I really think this is a underutilized tool. Having a custom school wallpaper on every one of your devices does a couple things. First of all, there's the obvious security aspect. It reminds the user of who this device belongs to. The second thing, I think it also is important that students see that so they remember the fact that this is a school device and that I should be acting in a certain way as I use this device. I've even seen schools go so far as to actually incorporate some of their device rules or their school rules regarding use of devices directly into that home screen. It's a nice little reminder to the students that, like, hey, we're in school, we're using a school device, we need to act in an appropriate manner. Scrolling down, the next one I would like to talk about is the apps and extensions, specifically the force installed apps and extensions. And this is a little weird because it doesn't have the drop downs. It actually uses this little link right here. And so these are apps or extensions that you have already identified as being useful and you want to push them out to your users. You can see I've already chosen 3 here. Google Cast for Education allows me to basically do what an Apple TV does for Apple devices. It allows me to share my screen with another teacher or the projector up in the front of the room. We have Office Editing for Sheets, Docs, and Slides. And while Google certainly does do a great job of being able to allow you to edit Word documents, this offers a few additional tools into that as well. And then the last one we have G Suite Training, and what this does is it provides this little question mark throughout the device, and when users click on it, it provides some tutorials, help guides, if they're trying to do something, whether that's in docs, in slides, in sheets. So this is a great one as well. The last one that I would recommend is one called EasyBib. And to get that one, you're going to click on the Chrome Web Store, type in EasyBib, hit enter, and from here we have the EasyBib toolbar. I would click Add and then Save. And what this does is it's going to be pushed out to all the users. I want to look at is the pinned apps or extensions. And again, we have this little link here, similar to above. And what the pinned apps are going to do is it's basically like providing a desktop icon. It's a quick way to direct kids to a page. And the page that I really love is Google Classroom. They don't have to go to the apps launcher and click that and then click Classroom. They don't have to type in classroom.google.com. They can click the little Classroom button and it automatically loads. I really like that. To do that, you go to the Chrome Web Store, type in Google Classroom, hit enter. And you need to be careful because there is a share to Classroom and there's the Google Classroom. Now the share to Classroom, this is a tool that I love for teachers. It allows them to really easily share web pages, websites, videos, PDFs with students through Google Classroom without having to copy the link, go into Classroom, paste. You can do it right from your browser. So the share to Classroom is great for teachers, but for my students, I really want to make sure they have this Google Classroom icon. It just saves some time. Coming down to our security setting page. But what I want to do is I want to change this word lock screen on sleep. I want to say that the lock screen. And this is really important. If a student is working, they get up to leave the room, maybe to go to the bathroom, and the device is sitting there idle. If that lock screen doesn't come up, now some students sitting next to them could come over and use the device in a malicious or inappropriate manner, and that other student would get the blame for it. So it's really important that the students, when they're done working, that first of all, they learn to lock their screen, and if they don't lock the screen, that the system does it for them. So I'm going to change this lock screen on sleep to lock screen. Now the next thing, because this is a cart-based approach, I know that at the end of the class, the kids are going to close their Chromebooks, they're going to put them into the charging cart before the next class arrives. And because of that, when they close the lid, I want it to automatically log them out. Now, if this were a one-to-one situation where students would be holding on to the same Chromebook throughout the day, I think going to sleep would be the fine default. But because this is for a cart-based approach, we're going to change that to a log out. Moving further down, we have incognito mode. For teachers, I think incognito mode has actually a lot of really great uses. For students, though, I don't want to provide them with any sort of feeling that they are not being monitored. I think that would be inappropriate. So I'm going to change that to not allow the incognito mode for student devices. Coming down, we now have the safe browsing. For student devices, I'm going to say I would like to always enable safe browsing. Certainly, of course, this is not going to take the place of a robust web filtering system like a Lightspeed system, but certainly this would be a good thing to enable. Underneath there, we have malicious sites. Now, certainly, my teachers, I understand that site security certificates expire, and sometimes I know that the site's good, I know the web address is good, I'm going to proceed anyways. For students, I don't want them making those decisions. So for students, I'm going to say prevent user from proceeding to malicious websites. If Google's flagged as malicious, I don't want them going onto it. Underneath here, we have geolocation. And a lot of the schools that I've been to see that and actually change this to do not allow. And I think that's a mistake. I actually think that we should leave this as allow sites to detect users' geolocations, specifically when it comes to recovering lost or stolen devices. If the device is set up to communicate a geolocation, I then can use that to help recover that device in a much easier, faster time frame. If I have turned this off, I lose that ability to locate where the device is. So I think this is one I'm going to leave on. Coming down, we're going to look at the last screen, which is the startup screen. And for here, we have two options that I think are worth noting. We have the home page. And right now it says allow users to configure. Because this is a school-based device, I'm going to say I want to set that home page URL. Now, whether that's to the school web page or to a resource page, say on the library page of the school, I think that's good. But I definitely want to, again, remind the student this is a school device, send them to that web page. Underneath there, we do have the ability to add in other pages that would automatically load on startup. So if you use something like Blackboard or Moodle tools or another learning management system outside of, say, Google Classroom, you could certainly have that automatically load on startup. I would caution you, I wouldn't put more than maybe 2 or 3 pages to load on startup. Just thinking about 30 students opening up their Chromebooks same time, each Chromebook's trying to load 3 web pages, is going to slow down a lot of things. So I think these are 2 really great things. Definitely put your school website on here. And then if there's a website that is every student's going to be using, you could also add it here as well. So I hope this tutorial has been very helpful and informative. And certainly if you have settings that I missed or that you prefer, tell me about them in the comments below. I'm always interested to learn how other schools are managing their Google Console. Definitely check out the subscribe button right over there. It really helps us connect with those other educators as part of our professional learning communities. And finally, Right over here, you're going to notice the fact that there's a whole bunch of other videos on the Google console. Definitely check them out. This has been Aaron for AOP Tech. Have a great day.